Yo, I have a bone to pick with you, Neil. Please don't hurt me with your powers of seduction. Hey, welcome back. So there's a problem with the game, and as much as I love it, it's the foundational document for most of us who are learning how to be better with women. There is a major issue, and we're gonna break into that today. Now, I'll be the first to admit that I was terrible with women, and when I discovered the game back in my first year of college at UC San Diego, it was a godsend. I was so excited by what it represented to a guy like me. I grew up feeling ugly and undesirable to women. I had the experience of walking into bars, having a conversation with a girl, and then she just couldn't wait to get away from me. Right? She couldn't wait to let me know that she needed to go to the bathroom. And then like a minute later, I would see her talking to someone else, someone more attractive than me, someone who actually got it, probably a natural. So this is a tome that'll teach me how to talk to women. Thank God. Show me what's inside. Let me memorize that right now. I will also say that this led me down kind of a dark path. I lost myself for about 12 years trying to figure out what the answer was. What was wrong with me? Why, even though I was copying these structures, was I not getting the results that I wanted? Why wasn't I attractive enough yet? And you know what else is wrong with the game? It doesn't tell you to smash that like button until it turns blue so YouTube knows to recommend this to other people because it's useful information. So you should be doing that right now. Please, for me, for the children. You should hit the like button and possibly subscribe if you're enjoying this content. One of my primary beefs with the game is that it adheres too rigidly to structure. It talks very much about the concept of inner game and outer game, and later on Neil actually goes on to talk about how important inner game is, but not much time or attention is paid to exactly what it is. So you're left to focus on outer game. And what's that inside of the book? Well, it's routines and things that you memorize in order to make yourself appear like a more attractive person. What I'm doing when I memorize routines, what I'm doing when I'm memorizing jokes or one-liners is that I'm adopting the behavior patterns of someone that I assume is more attractive than me. And unfortunately, where that leaves us as men is that we're emulating someone else. When I'm learning the mystery method, I'm trying to be mystery. When I'm learning Neil's annihilation method, I'm trying to be Neil. And the problem with that is that I can be at best a subpar Neil Strauss. For one, I'm not nearly bald enough, and for two, I can't grow a goatee. I can't do any of that. At best, I'm like this photocopied, washed out version of Neil, if I'm doing his method. And that's where it goes wrong. The mistake that so many of us make when we learn the game is that we assume that in order to get good at game, we need to copy what someone else did. We memorize the system, and if it doesn't work for us, well, we just keep on doing it until we get better. But the problem with that approach is not that the approach doesn't work, it's just that the approach specifically works for that person. So when I read through the game, I discover what worked for Neil Strauss. But if I never customize that to match who I am and what I'm actually interested in and what I enjoy doing when I'm interacting with people, well then I'm kind of screwed, right? I'm left in a situation where I'm trying to pretend to be someone that I'm not. And this messes things up in a big way. Because ultimately, what is it that all of us want to do? Well, we want to date a woman that wants to date us for us, right? We want someone that's attracted to us for who we naturally are. But what the game doesn't give us a chance to do then is attract that woman. Because we're busy pretending to be someone else. So she's attracted to the mask that I've put on. She's attracted to the routines and jokes that I've learned from sitcoms and shit. What she's not attracted to is me underneath, and how long can I keep that up? If I'm seriously interested in relationships with someone, if I found someone that is gold, someone that I'm addicted to, that I'm ridiculously attracted to, do I want her to fall for this version of me that I have to put effort into maintaining? Well, for me, the answer is no. I would much rather just be myself and have someone pursue me. And believe it or not, there's a way to do that. You don't have to follow the structure of the game. The other beef that I have with this is because it's so highly structured, what we're left with is remembering a set of rules. Now, I also want to be clear, Neil talks about this. He talks about the game being dangerous, but I don't think that's really what we leave the book with. Many of us were just like,
Oh, I just have to get rid of me and then women will want to be with me? Yeah, give me that trade-off right now.
but at least for me, when I was first learning this, that meant that I was learning like dozens of rules and trying to fix them all at once. I was trying to adjust my posture so I was standing up using the marionette technique so that there was a string running from the top of my head to the tips of my feet, and I was just acting like it was pulling me upright. I was learning to pitch my voice so I was always ending on a down tone, asking open-ended questions, but not too many open-ended questions, and eventually getting rid of questions altogether and just making statements, because that's better for conversation. And then the focus was on making female friends, and then the focus was on not being creepy, and then it was like, how much eye contact am I making? Am I making too much eye contact? Maybe I should be blinking more. Once every 3 to 4 seconds? Where should my feet be positioned? Should I be mirroring this entire time? I don't want to indicate too much interest, but speaking of which, I need to be looking out for indicators of interest. And what's her body language saying? What are her feet telling me? Are her pupils dilated or not? Endless rules. There are at least a dozen more that I could just rattle off of the top of my head. And while I'm thinking about those things, she's having a conversation with me. I'm completely missing every opportunity that I have to really generate some authentic connection, some actual attraction with this human being, because I am so focused on getting it right. These are adopted behaviors. And at some point, am I going to internalize them? Maybe. But how long does it take to make something into a habit, into a part of who we are? Well, months, if not years. So where does that leave us? I mean, I like the game. I don't regret my days learning about all these skill sets. I don't regret learning to read people. Those are all things that serve me. But in the long run, what I see the major issue with the game is that it doesn't actually explain what attraction is or how to get it. There are very few people in the pickup community that can explain to you why negging works or why it would generate attraction at all. And there are even fewer still that can actually do it because no one seems to get why. It's like people that show up in Greece on that one island with all like the purple lights and the chunky buildings, and everyone's just taking a photo like this next to the sunrise. Why are you doing that? Is it because you wanted to be there, because you authentically enjoy the experience? Or are you doing it because tens of thousands of other women before you decided that that was the hotness and now you have to do it for yourself? Because why not? And I think a lot of the seduction community suffers from this issue. I'm doing things because I was told to do them. Like, I should be sexually escalating. I should be kissing this girl right now. And unfortunately, when I operate from that perspective, from that point of view, naturally, it's gonna make me come off a little bit too try-hard. Like, if I'm trying to be funny, it's not gonna land as funny. I could try to tell you a joke right now, but it's not gonna be funny at all. What actually works is me talking about something that I personally found funny. And that's the difference between the game and a natural. When I'm pretending to be something, when I'm trying to force an outcome and I'm not actually interested, I don't actually feel real things, that gets in my way. That stops me from being attractive. And ultimately, that's the biggest pitfall when it comes to the game. I don't think there's anything wrong with the book. I think the book talks about everything that we need to know in terms of like interacting with people and beginning to get out into the world and experiment and try things that work, try crazy things and see whether or not women are receptive, see if you enjoy it. But what it doesn't emphasize enough, at least in my opinion, is that all of this is an experiment. All of this is an experiment. When Neil started off in the game, he didn't just go to mystery and take the mystery method and run with it. He went to jugular. He went to Rasputin, that creepy NLP guy. He went to Zan. He had multiple different teachers show him different ways of being, and he took the pieces that worked the best for him. And what it sounds like is he just combined all of the methods into one grand master method. But the reality is, in the process of the game, Neil was beginning to discover Neil. Each of these different methods have their worth, and there's going to be a piece of it that resonates exactly with you, including my philosophy. It's not going to be a fit for everyone, but you're going to get something out of this, and I want you to get something out of it. But you take away the piece that works for you and you leave the stuff that feels creepy and weird. Do the stuff that works for you authentically, and that's when you can begin to formulate an actual game. That's when you begin to actually attract women. It's not when you're busy pretending to be someone else and you get so good at pretending that no one can tell the difference between you and Neil Strauss. No. The actual value of game is that it suggests to you that there is a possibility that you could get more attractive. That is within your hands. And that you actually don't have to be someone else, someone that you're not. You can find the bits and bobs of other people and other approaches that work for you. You make them your own. You create your own path through the world. That is the value of the game. But it's so easy to get sidetracked by the siren song that maybe if I just follow the scientific formula, it's going to be the answer. And it's very rarely the case that when we come from trying to fix ourselves because we think we're broken or deficient, that actually ends up being the actual solution. For the most part, it just means that we end up hating ourselves. And I don't want that for you. So if you got something out of this video, smash that like button until it turns blue, hit subscribe, hit the bell, help this channel grow, do the right thing. So the point of all this is that there is no perfect method out there, and neither should you seek to try to find one, unless it's yours. But the most important part is to check inward and see, does this match? Is this something that I'm comfortable doing? Do I want to force myself to be comfortable doing this? That's up to you. But don't do something just because someone told you to. That's all the time we have for today. We'll catch you in the next one.